Our marriage is like anybody's marriage, it goes through ups and downs. It's a little garden that you have to tend all the time. When we're home, it's not like we walk around all dolled up going, we are celebrities. We are famous. I change diapers. I clean up dog doo. All actors have to make the words fit in their mouths, and make the words fit to how you say it and how you make it lifelike and make it look like what you're saying is just conversation that you're just thinking off the top of your head. That process is not quite improvisation. I'm always excited to be around other actors. I sometimes only get to work with myself, and it's so tedious. I was so excited to go to work every day, and we ran into work every day. There was a lot of dancing in 76, 78, in the 80s. A lot of dancing. The burn years. A lot of dancing. And for a while, working fit in with all that. Moonlighting, that wasn't acting. It was people telling me let's create a character who is you, so you can play him the way you are. The guy you are at night. It was fun. Instead of waiting until crisis problems develop which result in panic praying for others, we need to trust God to protect them as we pray spirit-led, thoughtful, caring prayers before the problems overwhelm them, and they are unable to cope. We need to engage in major battles, not just minor skirmishes, moving from surface praying to in-depth praying. We need to pray both defensively and offensively. Your kids need your love and attention, and being able to devote myself to them is very fulfilling. As I get older, spending time with my daughters makes things much easier. You learn to put your ego aside. To be guilty of the sin of prayerlessness is to be guilty of the worst form of practical atheism. It is actually saying we can get along without His help while the evidence is very clear on every hand that we cannot. Could it be that the sin of prayerlessness stems from our unbelief that He is a living God who exercises direct influence on the affairs of men? I never think there's any competition between films. I root for everybody's films. I especially have a fond place in my heart for graphic novels and comics. My friends are always honest with me about films. But I really wanted to talk to regular people and kind of have a forum to interact with them, not just about films, but about everything. Hair loss is God's way of telling me I'm human. I think I'm much more afraid of making a mistake in raising my daughters than I would be with any work that I do, as an actor. It's a much higher scale of fear, raising kids. We were lucky to get Sam Jackson and Jeremy Irons and John McClane back. Long movie and hard movie to make and difficult for me because instead of working, my biggest concern was not repeating things I had done in the previous films. And it rang notes in my head of episodic TV. A sequel is not a new movie, it's a chapter in a movie that you have already seen. Thank God Sam was there and thank God Jeremy was there. Again, it went outside the template of that series of films but it did well and made a ton of dough and the third chapter of a lot of sequels is always the one that falls down. Organized religions in general, in my opinion, are dying forms. They were all very important when we didn't know why the sun moved, why weather changed, why hurricanes occurred, or volcanoes happened. Modern religion is the entrail of modern mythology. But there are people who interpret the Bible literally. Literally. I choose not to believe that's the way. And that's what makes America cool, you know? It's an eclectic film and I think we served the novel really well. And we had a great cast who worked for free. Everyone read it and said, I'm in, from Nick Nolte to Albert Finney to Omar Epps to Barbara Hershey. We really had fun and shot it in a very short time. I think the subject matter is more topical today, more to the point, than it was 30 years ago, when it concerned the Vietnam War. You cannot bring back the past. But you certainly cannot repeat it. Life is short, even if lived to 90. Live to the fullest, that's how I feel. Appreciate every moment, every hour, every day, because they do not blink of an eye, all over. I am absolutely sure that for most people their death comes as a surprise. I got to work with Dustin Hoffman on a film called Billy Bathgate. I got to work with Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn and Bob Zemeckis on Death Becomes Her. There are still a few actors out there that I would like to work with. My friends are always honest with me about films. But I really wanted to talk to regular people and kind of have a forum to interact with them, not just about films, but about everything. I have zero interest in performing in films to try to convey any kind of message. My job is to be entertaining. There's a very different point of view about messages in films in Europe than there is in the States. Audiences revel because they feel that they are being preached to. I wake up laughing. Yes, I wake up in the morning and there I am just laughing my head off.
Which quotes did you like the most?